DaVinci Resolve has already replaced Premiere Pro and After Effects for me, and now it might replace Lightroom too. So I have DaVinci Resolve open here with the newest public beta that they just released today for DaVinci Resolve 21. And you can see in my media pool, I have a bunch of photos opened here, which are all Canon RAW files. And you'll see on the bottom here, we have a new tab called Photo. So if we open this up, what this is it's basically like a Lightroom alternative. And so now we basically have a raw photo editor inside DaVinci Resolve, which is crazy to me. Like, I'm so excited for this. So you'll see on the left here, I have my media pool, which has all the photos that I imported. And then on the bottom here, this is kind of like your timeline. It's called the photo album. So you can just click and drag photos into this album. And then from here, you can also, rank them. You can apply different tags and different colors to them. So just like in Lightroom, if you have a ton of different photos and you want to go through and rank the ones that you actually want to use and edit, you can do that in here as well. We also have new features such as like AI analysis. So this one will work on both video and photos. So this one you can see it identifies faces as well as different parts of the photo so that you can sort through your photos and make albums based off of different elements. So if you only want to include like one person from a photo shoot, you can do that. And then just like in Lightroom or Capture One, you can also come down into your album and then create new versions as well if you wanted to make two different versions of the same photo with different edits. So you can see with the photos in my album, and I can go through and adjust them just like how you would in Lightroom. And then we also have non-destructive cropping. So if we come into the tools over here, we can actually crop our photos like this. And then when we click out of that, it'll crop our photos. And if we ever need to go back, we can still adjust it and it does it all non-destructively. It also comes with a few preset looks. So if you wanted to make like a dramatic look, we have stuff like that in here. Now, if you're coming from Lightroom and you're looking at this and you're like, okay, but where are all the curves and like the color adjustments and the HSL and stuff like that? And that is where I get super hyped because if we come into the color panel here, we now have node-based editing for photos, using free software that Hollywood uses to color grade movies with. I've been asking for a node-based photo editor for years now, and I never thought we'd get it inside DaVinci Resolve. Because obviously you could import photos into like the color page and edit them from there, but now we actually have proper support for all of this. So we can come in and start adjusting all of the different things such as like curves. So you can adjust curves in there, and then we can also come into like different HSL adjustments. So if I wanted to start adjusting individual colors, and we just have all of the same tools that you would have to color grade your video to color grade your photos now. Like, how cool is that? So you can see the before and after, and that was just really quickly, just with 3 nodes, that I was able to get this look. And of course, because it's all in the color page, we also have access to all the different fusion effects and stuff in here. And that's another thing too. You can also open up your photos inside of Fusion if you want to add like text effects to your photos or something. And then down here, we also have refine options. One of the new things is if you have a portrait, there's a face age transform, which also works in video, which is basically just de-aging or more aging. I don't know what the other term would be for that in Hollywood or whatever, but you can make people look older or younger. And there's also blemish removal in here. So if you're editing a portrait and you need to edit some blemishes out, you can do that as well. And so using all of the effects also means that we can do film emulation in here. So we can take the film look creator and apply that to our image, and we can start making our photos look like they were shot on film. And that also means that if you have third-party plugins like Dehancer, you can also use that on your photos as well. And so now we have access to different film looks from Dehancer. And one of the things I was curious about is how it handles color for photos, because one of my favorite tools for photography is Capture One. And this is a photo I edited on Capture One. And inside DaVinci Resolve, I took the same photo and edited it a very similar way. And this is what I got. And so you can see, this is Capture One. This is DaVinci Resolve. I hope you can see just how well DaVinci Resolve handles color with this, because Capture One is my favorite tool for editing colors on, because it handles them so well, whereas DaVinci Resolve handles color, I'd say, a little bit better than Capture One. Another thing too is inside the photo tab here, if we come up, there's also a capture option here. So you can shoot tethered inside DaVinci Resolve now as well. From what I saw, it's only going to be for Sony and Canon cameras right now, but it still reads Nikon and Fuji RAW files. You just won't be able to shoot tethered with them. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think all of this is so cool. I think the fact that we're able to use the power of DaVinci Resolve's like full color grading suite inside our photos now instead of just our videos is incredible. And even with the beta version that I've been testing out here, I haven't really come into any bugs or any issues at all so far. Everything seems to be working out of the box, which is even more impressive. I'm sure they're going to add more features to it later on, but even just at its bare bones right now, it's still an incredible tool. One of the things I didn't even show off is that you can collaborate with people. So if you're working with another photographer or something, you can both work in the same project file. You also have access to the magic mask as well as the depth mask for your photos now. There's retouching tools that I kind of touched on as well. I haven't really had a chance to try out those too much, but from what I've seen in their promotional videos, it looks like it works pretty well. One of the things I can show off too is that with this photo, there's actually a rock that is back here, but I was able to cover it up with their patch replacer. It also has GPU acceleration, so all of your edits will probably be done very quickly without any stuttering if you have a decent enough computer. All of this is to say, I am super excited for this. I think this is going to be incredible for people, especially if you're someone who already does photography and video and you're already working in DaVinci Resolve. Like, having everything just in one software is amazing. Chef's kiss. I have to say, Blackmagic's design is just crushing it right now with everything that they've been releasing for DaVinci Resolve. I think DaVinci Resolve is truly like the best software you can get right now if you're creative working in photography or video. I truly don't think there's anything else that beats it right now. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.